This video is intended to help with number 6 and 7 in section 4E. So when you're computing your tax, you first, to find the tax owed, you'll be given a table and you'll need to find the particular tax rate. Most of your homework gives you the particular table necessary. So you'll use the table to determine the tax rate for income ranges. Now keep in mind that the tax rate is assigned only to the amount of income that falls within that range called the margin. So what you'll see on in the next slide is a table, and remember that we only pay that particular tax rate on that range. The income tax, remember, is the amount computed minus any tax credits. So if you have tax credits and they create a negative result, then that means you should receive a refund on your taxes. It just means you paid your taxes and some more, so the government will give you that money back that you overpaid for. So we're going to look at a few problems. You will see a table, something like this. And in this problem, we're dealing with Bobby, and just this piece right here I want you to focus on. Bobby is married, filing separately, so they already gave us the particular table for that particular designation. So you would have lots of tables and you'd have to look up that column, but we already have that here. And Bobby has a taxable income of $68,000. So what that means is the lowest tax rate, so the people on the very lowest tax bracket here make $9,325. Well, Bobby makes over that, so Bobby's automatically going to pay 10% of that first tier. And you'll see that I have that over here. 10% of that first tier is $932.50. Now, Bobby makes over $9,325 in taxable income. So the difference between the range between these two values, between the lowest tax bracket, the high of the lowest tax bracket, and the high of the second lowest, is $28,635. Since Bobby isn't in either of those tiers, Bobby's automatically going to pay 15% of that difference because of that range. So 15% of everything included in that range. So that range, the difference, the range here would be $28,635. So I have taken 15% of that over on the right. So that's over $4,000. Bobby is not in the second or the first tax bracket. We're going to have to move on here. So what we notice is Bobby is definitely going to be in the third range, or the third row here, because this taxable income is certainly less than $76,000. Therefore, what we're going to do is find that salary, the taxable income of Bobby, so $68,000, minus the highest value in the previous tax bracket, so $68,000 minus $37,950, and that's what gives us $30,050. Since we're in that third row, we're going to take 25% of that. 25% of that gives us $7,512. When we add these three values, we should get $12,738.75. On your taxes, we round to the nearest dollar, and so this would be the amount that Bobby owes in taxes. Alright, you're going to have a couple of these on your homework. I wanted to make one video for this because I was afraid that these might cause you problems. Sometimes they end up in the second tax bracket, but sometimes they end up in the third, I noticed. If it ends up in the third, it's going to take a little bit longer than if it ends up in the second. I want you to make sure you know all of those in case they sneak up on a test or a quiz.